He's gotten so used to the bunny, he doesn't even, the bunny is just sitting there, and he's walking away. He's gotten so used to the bunnies being in the yard that now he's ignoring them. Now, this might be, Fluffy, is this because you know you can't catch them? The bunny is so oblivious. But the bunny is the honey, it's the honey bunny. He just don't care. He's just fine. All right, I guess we're just walking away from a perfectly good bunny instead of chasing it. I guess that's what we're doing.
You ready? Here we go. It did it. I don't believe it. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go. Hot drop. And 3, 2, 1. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go Panthers. Let's go. Go. All right, Panther fans, hockey fans, Vegas fans, if you're watching, welcome to after 7 years and 1,600 videos, I finally get to make a Stanley Cup final video for my Florida Panthers. Alright, so everything that is to be said about this series has already been said. Boy, oh boy, am I ready for some action to react to, because I have no more answers to any of all the questions. Alright, look. I'm going to say what I always say. Game 1 doesn't mean anything until after Game 2. You know the drill. Calm, cool, collected. You know that. If you're watching these videos, you know all that. If you're watching the preview, you know I said it's gonna be some rocky water. Rocky waters, rough seas, rough. You know what I'm saying. All right, I can't speak. It ain't gonna be easy. How about that? How about that? It ain't gonna be easy. Now, I could sit here, and I kind of have this afternoon. I've kind of sat here and convinced myself, you know, the more I think about it, Vegas really hasn't faced our level of competition yet in the playoffs. Winnipeg, no. Okay. Edmonton is a highly offensive team, but the rest of their team is offensive as well. And then Dallas somehow really didn't show up and still won 2 games. And that's what kind of gives me hope, is that when it came time to eliminate the Stars, they had to take 3 swings at it. So that's why I said in my preview that I think they can beat us, but I don't think that they can eliminate us. But in terms of this game, first 5, 10 minutes, it's not the whole series. No matter what happens, don't get too high, don't get too low. If Bubba gives Bubba, this is Bubba, okay? For those of you who are new, you know Kermit, Francisco's the Flamingo, this is Saucy Sloan, this is Andy the Sports Guy, that's Jaws, and this is Bubba. That's Bubba. I haven't been doing the puppets during the playoffs for the most part, so we're going to leave it that way for now, because every time we have a game, the bunny is in the front yard in the morning. So you see what I'm saying there. Now, just in case if Bubba gives up a goal or Vegas gets one, if we get 10 minutes in and we're losing 2-0, don't worry until it gets to 3. Okay? Now, it could be the reverse, too. Vegas may be like, whoa, they're really heavy for a check-in, and we might get up 2-0. Which, if you've been watching my Panthers in the playoffs, the recipe there is get up 2-0, give up the lead, go to overtime, and take somewhere between 2 minutes to 5 hours to eventually win in overtime. If these two teams go to overtime, I don't suspect there'll be long overtimes. But the biggest question for me, besides Bob, everything with the Panthers, is Adin Hill. Journeyman, he's never been like terrible. He's just not been able to make it happen. Very, very much like our Alex Lyon. Okay? Now, he's played really good. He hasn't played at the level of Bob, but no, it's been a long time. Okay? I mean, that's Vasilevsky, Patrick Waugh stuff that Bob's been doing these last 2.5 series. Can Adin Hill handle the pressure, especially in the beginning of the game, and especially as the games get late? Now, so far, the answer to that has been yes, but let's not pretend this is the Stanley Cup. Okay? The stakes and the pressure and the nervousness and all of that just got escalated and elevated by a power of 10. You see what I'm saying? So, can he handle that pressure? And then, if he cannot handle that pressure, what does Jonathan Quick look like? Now, don't get me wrong, Vegas fans. I'm not already saying that I think, Hill's not going to make it. Somebody asked me on the stream if I was concerned about Quick. I'm not really, okay? But, the part to that is even if Adin Hill struggles, I would suspect even if he was, like, terrible and can't handle the pressure, I would still think he'd get, like, a game and half of next game before anything like that would happen. All right, now I'm not doing scores. I said in my series preview I didn't think we were going to win this game. Over the course of the day, I'm kind of feeling better, a little bit less nervous about things. I'm hearing Eetu Luostarinen is a game-time decision. I love Eetu. He's a big part of our team. But if he's out, you put Lomberg on that third line, you put Dalpe on the fourth line, and we're good. We're good, okay? Ryan Lomberg can game on the third line, okay? We can cover Eetu Luostarinen being out. Must have been a hell of a... I mean, he blocked a shot, and it's been all this time, and he's still a game-time decision. So, hopefully he's out there, but if not, I feel confident. We have been dealing with injuries all season long, so nothing to be afraid of there. All right, Panther fans. Let's go. All right, so 1-1 after 1. Here we go. It's full tilt playoffs. We'll start at the end first. Gudas not on the ice like the last, 5, 6, 7 minutes. Now, when they had that big scrum in front of Hill, Gudas was fighting with somebody. We're wrestling, and he went down hard on his back. Maybe he hit his head, so maybe he was... maybe they saw something. Maybe he was going through some testing. Hopefully he'll be back out for the second period. We need Radko Gudas on the ice. We can win games, but we kind of need what he brings in this series. And then, of course, the referees are definitely not just going to let them play. Okay, either side. And Panthers take a second penalty in that period after the first one ended up in the back of the net with a shorthanded goal by Stahl. Then they give Vegas another power play, and of course that time we leave Jonathan. We leave Marchessault, of course, wide open in front of the net. Lots of nervous energy. Let's get everything settled down. Both teams look good, then bad, then good, then bad. Bob, he had to make an amazing save right out the bat. He's stoned a couple of times. I would suspect that both teams are going into the locker room thinking that they're giving up too many chances. So it's not been a real tight defensive game. Not a ton of hits, just a few. Other than that, Ryan Lomberg looks good, filling in for Luostarinen, and we need Radko Gudas on the ice. Let's move on to second period. All right, so 2-2 after 2. I was all set to come on here and say how the Panthers were being outworked, which much of that period we were getting outworked, and how we definitely need to start winning some draws. And with 12 seconds left, we win the draw, and Duke puts it in on a set play, and it's tied at 2. And the good news is that we got outworked in that period. Okay, we got outworked. Let's just be honest about that. But the game is still tied. We've hit the post. We've We've hit at least 3 posts, I think, in that period. Not to mention the shot that Cousins just couldn't quite lift just high enough to save Hill from making a ridiculous save. I'll give Hill the credit for being even in position to make that save. But if Cousins hits it, if Cousins lifts it, you know what I'm trying to say. I'm excited. I was a little bit concerned there. It was 2-1. Vegas is outworking us, though. Okay, let's just breathe for a half a second here. It's good that the game is tied at 2-2, but when there's a loose puck, Vegas is the one using their legs more to get to the puck than the Panthers are. Now, I don't know that I would necessarily call that rust. I don't know why we're not playing at the same level that we were. Not rust, because, you know, complacency? No. What is it? Maybe we just weren't expecting Vegas to work this hard. Maybe. I don't know. I suspect in the third period you'll see a different Panther team. We survived that period. And now, game 1 is here. Game 1 is here for anybody to take. Okay? The referees have made some skinny calls on both sides of the ice. Could we just put it away for the third period? I think it's been pretty much even where both of us could be like, that was a penalty, okay. Could we just put the whistles away for the third period? I want to win game 1, obviously. You guys are watching this, you already know what happened. I don't. So, now we keep getting people in chat joking it's going to be a 4 overtime. Move on and see how this goes. Alright, well, Vegas gets game 1. Just like I said in my series preview. I tried to talk myself into it this afternoon. I got the feeling a little bit better. And certainly you go to the third period tied 2-2. If we're going to win the cup, we needed this ass kicking. Okay? If we're going to win a cup, we needed this ass kicking because we got completely outworked. Yeah, we were tied at 2-2, but let's not pretend. We got outworked in that second period, and for the most part, we got outworked in the third period. Outworked. Okay? Now, yeah, we hit the post a couple of times. I mean, Barkov beat Hill short side high and just hit off the crossbar. Sure. Cousins needs to lift that puck. Reinhardt had a breakaway, needs to lift the puck. Okay, there's some minor things there that you might say are due to the layoff. Maybe, maybe not. But overall, the main thing I saw out there was a lack of aggressiveness. I saw them being tentative instead of when the puck looked like it's coming towards the blue line, instead of being aggressive and going and getting it, I saw us backing off. Now, that game might work against Carolina because they don't really have the same level of talent. But we can't play half-ass one way and half-ass the other way against this Vegas team, or this is what they're going to do. We either need to play the vicious forecheck and shut shit down, or let's just play run and gun and see where the chips fall. Now, as an aside, I don't know how it was for you all on Twitter or everything else like that, but good God almighty, in my stream, you would think the team just got swept. I mean, this is the team that's on an 11-1 run, had won, what, 8 straight on the road, and is in their first Stanley Cup final game after a 10-day layoff in Vegas, which is a ridiculous place to play. And even when we were just only down 3-2, you would have thought the series was over and done and all of that. And I'm just going to say this once. I normally do not do this. Okay, but I'm just going to say this one time. I got Matthias here, and he is barely hanging on, if you guys know what I mean. If you don't know who Matthias is my younger son, and he's Autistic. So my normal level of patience is not exactly the same in these moments. So somebody started some stuff on the stream, boop, I just banned them. I'm not playing around. And I appreciate everybody that watches the videos, but be mindful in the comments. Be mindful in the comments that I got a twitchy finger. Let's just put it that way. Okay? What I saw, what I'm seeing, fans just giving up. I got no time for it. I got no time for it whatsoever. If you're giving up after this, you're probably just one of the bandwagoners. So I'm not gonna tolerate it. I don't have the patience for it. It's one game. And yeah, the score got away from us with the empty netter, and it was a terrible, terrible play. That was a bad clearing attempt that led to it being 4. But I got people ripping Bob like I mean, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? It's one game. Now, did we look good? No, we did not look good. Absolutely not. But you mean to tell me that the team that was dead to rights, 3-1 against Boston, we can't come back and win game 2 against Vegas? Now, that game that we played out there tonight was easily the worst game that we've had this entire playoff run all the way around. And I'm sure some people might feel and say that that was the layoff, and it's possible. I didn't think we were winning this game anyway. Vegas is a crazy location to play at. They've got all the hype going. And I think this is the series where Maurice, I said this in my series preview just 12 hours ago. I think this is a series where Maurice is going to have to do some of the heavy lifting and steer the ship. He's been talking about how the guys have been running the room and running the bench for these last few series. And when you're going 11-1, that'll work. But I think what he did out there was allow these guys to have all the leeway, to learn all the lessons, and to look like ass. And I believe now he's going to clamp down. I don't think it'll be a yelling and screaming type of thing in that locker room tonight. But we won't see an effort like that the rest of this series. I still feel confident Panthers in 6. That's just how I feel. I'm what's the word? I'm amazed at the level of vitriol and just flat out disgusting display of unsportsmanlike behavior that went on in my stream in the 3rd period. And maybe I'm just getting my eyes open to how it is in other locations, but normally it's not like that. So I'm sitting there and I'm reading it. It got bad. It got bad. It got bad. And I suppose you could say that it was the same display that the Panthers gave out there today. We got asses handed to us in the face-off circle. We started coming back from that. Now at 2-2, you're going into 3rd period. You're feeling pretty good. You're feeling all right. This is when we win our games. And for the first few minutes, it looked pretty decent. It looked decent, but we're still hesitating. And this is where Maurice is going to have to come in and get it sorted out in these guys' heads. Okay, what are we? Which one are we? How are we playing, coach? Okay, because we're not going to be able to play the same lockdown style like we did against Carolina, because Vegas is different. They've got guys that can put the puck in the back of the net. Okay, that's number one. And number two, you just can't count on Bob to be Patrick Waugh every single night. No, I don't think this game was on Bob. This was a collective effort. It just, there was hope when it was 2-0, when it was 2-2, but we all knew that we were getting dominated. And that's okay. I think that if this team is going to win this cup, and I still believe that they will, they needed this game because this was borderline embarrassing. The effort just wasn't there. Every time we had the puck, Vegas was on us, and we allowed them to be the aggressor. When Vegas had the puck, we were not the aggressors. This was very much the opposite of how we had been playing. Now, if it was a situation where we were playing at the top of our game and they were, that's a different story. But that's not what we saw tonight. It's not what we saw tonight. What we saw was Vegas playing probably not at the top of their game, but playing pretty well. They got their game going. They were pretty much doing what they want to do, and we were just lackadaisical. We were lazy out there on the ice. We were absolutely lazy out there on the ice for the most part. We made mental mistakes when we haven't made them before. And I think it's going to be time. I think Paul Maurice is going to have to step in. He's talked about how he's been saying less and less and less since that night in Toronto when he yelled at him in front of everybody. And again, I don't think that it's necessarily going to be a yelling and screaming thing, but these guys are clearly not sure what the assignment is. And I'm not saying that it's Maurice's fault, but I just think that maybe we got a little bit spoiled. We got spoiled, let's face it. We were up 3-0 and then 3-0, so the pressure wasn't quite there. Even though the games were tight inside of the games, there hasn't been a lot of pressure since Boston of if we lose this game. You know what I mean? Except for game ones, but after games ones, we've had the lead in the series. So, based on what I've seen from this team in the second half of the season and against Boston, when their backs were against the wall and they needed to come up with an effort, they have 100% of the time, give or take, they've done the job. So I said in my series preview, Vegas can beat us, and they beat us. We ain't going to play like that again. We won't play like that again. So, for the true Panther fans, don't give up. Okay? Don't give up. I know there's going to be 3 or 4 of you that are going to be true Panther fans that you're not going to be able to help yourself in the comment section. Choose your words wisely, please, because I had Matthias leaning on me for most of the game, and I spent a lot of energy just trying to keep him in a decent mental state of mind. So, it's one game, people. Okay? If you have worries, go watch the series preview that I put out today. Because a lot of the things that I said could happen, a lot of them happened tonight. Including taking a stupid penalty in the first 10 minutes of the game because we were just being a little bit too aggressive, which is exactly what happened. We just got lucky and Stahl put the shorthanded in. Nothing matters in game 1 until after game 2. That's the last thing. I've been saying that all of these series. Game 1 doesn't matter until after game 2. We come back Monday, we play our game, we win the game, boom, and it's a 5-game series with 3 of them in Florida. And that's it. Alright, Stu and I will be back in the morning, and other than that, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the day tomorrow. Not making any more, no more content tomorrow. This is stressful. And look, I get it. Like I said, I'm not talking about the bandwagoners who are just coming on and saying it's over, the team sucks. Come on, and you ain't the only one, but you're a prime example of somebody I know that's a real Panther fan, while at the same time, Jesus Christ, can you handle a little bit of adversity that our team goes through? How about a little bit of energetic support for these guys? You see what I'm saying? Don't get me going. I'm not in the mood for it. Stuart and I will be back in the morning, and then I'm gonna go fishing tomorrow. I'll see you then.